Alright boys, are you ready for this one? Because this gets spicy. As you all know by now, the Tate brothers have been arrested. Free the top G's. At the time of making this video, they've been detained for 30 days. Hopefully they can appeal that and get out. And I think we all know that the chances of these being false allegations and the Matrix coming to get them, it's quite a high probability. We know that they've wanted to shut Tate up for the longest amount of time, not because of what he says about women, but because of what he's saying about the top people in charge and the government. All the Tate haters out there have been having an absolute field day with this. They've been posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, ha ha ha, sex trafficking, he's finally put away this misogynist. Anyway, I usually stay away from these type of arguments on Facebook, even if I completely disagree with them. But this guy was posting the other day, and he was putting up post after post after post about Andrew Tate, almost like he was obsessed with him. And if you're watching this, mate, look, you know, this is nothing personal, but I've got to refute what you're saying here, and it's always better to do it in video format than typing, like a keyboard warrior over Facebook. But the guy said a few things about Tate that was just blatantly untrue, and I thought to myself, I've got to jump in here because I just cannot watch this happen. I'm doing this video to summarise how messed up some people's perception is on reality. Some of the people who I hate the most in this world are idealists. People who say that the world should be all love and peace and there should be no money and no one should have to work. Basically socialists. People who just want everything completely equal. It's never going to be like that. And that's the problem that I've got with these people on Facebook. Anyway, I got into a back and forth with this lad. He said that Andrew Tate blames rape victims for being raped. This is an old argument which has completely been busted many times before, and he's even explained it in full length on certain podcasts. And I wanted to specifically tackle that topic today. It's a touchy subject because no one really wants to talk about rape and how it happens and how it can be avoided. People tend to stay away from the topic. Even Tate had to really dance around the subject in order to make sure that he wasn't coming across like he advocates for rape. Who does? And this is an idea that I want to also defend. So as we go through this video, I want you to comment down below anything that you might agree or disagree with me on that comes up in this video. Let's dive into the screenshots of this Facebook thread. Honestly, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So the first thing that the lad posted the other day was the tweet back and forth between Andrew Tate and Greta. And he said, Greta just murdered the king of incels. Now, if I would have just seen this on my timeline, I would have just scrolled right past. But the fact that he said the king of incels, I was like, well, wait there a second. You know, I like Andrew Tate. I agree with a lot of the stuff he says. I'm not an incel. So let me just chime in here. Andrew Tate is really an utter prick. And then someone saying, yes, Greta. So the fact that he said Tate is the king of incels, and then this guy here said Andrew Tate is an utter prick. I'm not up Tate's arse or anything, but I just wanted to comment something to give an opposing side. So I said, Tate is a positive force for good in this world, unless you listen to mainstream media and read a couple news headlines. And you can see here, I had 7 reactions to that comment. The majority of them were laughing faces or a shocked face. I also said, P.S. I am no incel. Now, the original poster said, Shaun, I struggle to find the positivity he's done for the world. What about the multiple millions, tens of millions of lads who he's helped empower, fix the mental health problems, get into the gym, be more ambitious? He's reinstilled masculine values within men. We live in this world where people pretend that masculinity is bad. Andrew Tate's told men that there's nothing wrong with being masculine. At the end of the day, that's what women want. Women say that they don't want a masculine man and a toxic masculinity and all that crap, but that's actually what they want. Women's actions versus what they say are two completely different things. So he said his opinions are like they're from the edgy emos on Tumblr in 2003 who turn out to be school shooters. And the message cuts off here, but I've got it on my phone. His business was a pyramid scheme, fleecing unremarkable incels with the promise they will become alpha. Now he's being done for a human trafficker and a rapist. There's so many things wrong with that statement. First off, Andrew Tate has never promised anyone that they can become alpha through joining his Hustlers University. I have actually been in Hustlers University. It's a pretty decent program. It's basic, but it's good. It's a good business that provides good value. And at no point has he ever promised that you're going to become alpha. In fact, Tate has actually said explicitly that not everyone can do what he does. He's just an advocate for bettering yourself and trying to be in the best shape possible with as much money as possible, letting the government have the least control over you possible, and getting better with girls. Now, granted, that message will attract some incels, but the majority of people are just men who have resonated with this message of bettering yourself as a man. There's lots of people out there like Andrew Tate. It's just that he's the one who's made the most noise. I follow plenty of people who have got pretty much the exact same message as him, and people don't say that they're targeting incels, do they? Someone else said, Shaun, is this a wind-up? And then, dear God, he really isn't. He's an utter twat. He basically runs a cult. It's not a cult whatsoever. Having a good die-hard fan base is completely different from having a cult. So I said to the original poster, do you know what a multi-level to marketing scheme is? Do you know what an affiliate program is? There's a huge difference between the two. He said, it was shut down for being a pyramid scheme though. It actually wasn't. It was shut down when they cancelled them, because they shut down everything. They shut down as Uber, as Discord, which is what Hustlers University was actually hosted on. They shut down as Airbnb, as Stripe payment processor, as Twitter, as Instagram, as Facebook, as YouTube. They shut down everything of us. It wasn't shut down because it was a pyramid scheme. It was a subscription service to receive videos of Tate saying women are a man's property and rape victims should to be blamed for their assaults. That's incel talk regardless of how you dress it up. I love the way people like this guy who have never been in his program, probably only watched clips of him saying outlandish things, think that they know everything about them. I've been following Tate since he had about 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I also used to follow him here and there back in the day when he used to fight as a kickboxer. I've seen pretty much almost every video, every podcast he's ever been on because I really resonate with his message. And it's funny, the people who interpret his message in this manner have not watched barely any of his content. So within Hustlers University, there was an affiliate marketing program, meaning that you could sign up to it and then you could actually earn money through promoting Hustlers University. That is not a pyramid scheme or multi-level marketing. That is an affiliate program. In the same way that if I contact My Protein and ask for a referral code, and then you use my referral code to buy your next lot of protein, that'll give me a kickback. It's just a referral code. It's a marketing strategy that is as old as time itself. It's just like a reward system pretty much. It's completely ethical and there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just people like to throw around the words pyramid scheme, when they've got no clue what they're even on about. They don't even know what a pyramid scheme is. It's the same people who say misogynist. Then you say to them, define misogyny. They're like, I don't know. Next question. You don't know what they're talking about. So I said that's actually incorrect. A pyramid scheme is where it can only sustain when more people purchase the product. And here's the definition of a pyramid scheme: in which each paying participant recruits two further participants, with returns being given to early participants using money contributed by later ones. It basically means you need new people to join in order for people to get paid. Hustlers University sustains itself without needing new members. It grows itself anyway because there's intrinsic value within the program. It's teaching you the skills of how to make money online. It grows regardless because there's value in the program. My program showing men how to build muscle naturally, the Natural Physique Academy. We're currently going through a process of setting up an affiliate program for that, meaning that if lads want to post their training content on TikTok or on Instagram, they can get a link that links to my Natural Physique Academy, and if someone signs up through their link, they'll get a 50% kickback. That's not a pyramid scheme. People will be joining my program to learn how to build muscle naturally. They're getting value. It's not a scam. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not multi-level marketing. You're a dummy. I went on to say Hustlers University is actually a good product which brings value to people. As a brick and mortar and online business myself, I joined it to see if there was any value, and I can definitively say that it's a good product. It shows people how to make money online through cryptocurrency, stocks, dropshipping, copywriting, social media marketing, and affiliate marketing, and much more. Tate isn't paying me to say any of this, and I no longer am a part of Hustlers University. I only joined out of curiosity. I'm just telling the truth. It's a decent program. He did have an affiliate program set up where you can make $25 if someone signs up through your affiliate link. That's not a pyramid scheme or multi-level marketing. It's an affiliate marketing program, which is completely legal and ethical marketing strategy used by thousands of businesses. At no point does he ever address that because he understands that I've got him and he's got nothing to say back to it. And he never said that rape victims should be blamed either. That's the same thing that everyone else says, which tells me that he has heard that through someone else or through headlines. If you heard it directly from the source, you would know that he's never said that. He's never blamed rape victims for their assault. And the women are a man's property thing was actually a part of a longer form interview where interviewers actually suggested that, and Tate said he believes the woman belongs to a man in a biblical sense, in a way that the woman is given away to the man when she walks down the aisle. It's not exactly controversial. We all know this. And if you disagree with that, then at least you're disagreeing with what he actually said and not what other people are saying he said. And then he replied back to me saying, I've seen the video. He says that pretty much verbatim. So I said, if you could link me the video or find it, that would be great. He responded with, here he is doubling down on it. He's saying it's human nature to commit sex crimes. The problem is his ideology comes from primitive humans. They are not applicable in modern society. This is why grape is a crime. Of course, grape is a crime, yes. But he's making it out like Tate is advocating for grape. He's not. Tate is saying it's a part of society in the sense that some people are just evil out there and you're not going to change them because the brains are messed up. You cannot rewire their brains to no longer do this heinous, violent act. And these people online know what he's saying and know that he's saying that, but they want to stick to their narrative. So they just try and have the blinkers on and, oh no, don't listen to that part of the argument. Oh no, I don't want to hear that, because they want to stay in their own narrative. That was the video I was hoping he was going to share as well, because Andrew Tate actually explains himself very well in that video. Some other guy said to the original poster, "You don't half know some balloon heads." He's calling me a balloon head. He's the balloon head. The original poster said, "The funniest part for me is the fact that he says he disagrees with grape, but goes on a diatribe," I've never actually heard that word, "where he gives the rapist power over the victim, proving the exact opposite of what he wanted. This is why he's dumb." He's not dumb, he's very smart. "He puts the power in the offender's hands, not the victim's, and he can't see that. A woman walking alone isn't an invitation for sex." Why is that a difficult concept for Tate? Tate will agree with you. I agree with that. A woman walking alone is not an invitation for sex. A woman having a low-cut top with her tits out and her ass out is not an invitation for sex. We all know that as men. We all know that. 100% hold our hands up. Don't get me wrong, if we're in the club and I see a girl and she's got her tits out and looks good, hell yeah, I'm going to look at her and go, she's fit, she's attractive. I'll approach her and I'll talk to her. But if she's not into it, then no, you move away. That's it. We all know that. We're not like, oh, well, maybe because she's got her tits out, I'm going to take her down this dark alleyway and have my way with her. No, fucked up people do that. Not your average, not just the average man. We all know that it's wrong, so it's a null point. It doesn't matter. You're making a false argument. No one is arguing with that. So I said, I knew it would be this clip, so that's good. Nowhere in the video does he blame anyone. What he's saying is to take responsibility over your decisions will protect more women from grape than telling women they can walk wherever they want at night because men shouldn't grape. He already said men who grape should be executed, which of course everyone agrees with. The problem is that there are evil people in society, and no amount of progressive thinking will change these people. So arming women with the thought process of you can do what you want and walk wherever you want without any issues will only hurt more women. It's a touchy subject, but all good men know this is exactly what they're going to tell the daughters. If I had a daughter, I'd be teaching her not to walk by herself because there's evil men out there who won't change and who don't care about progressive thinking. It's controversial, but it's true. We live in modern times, but there's still evil people. This whole change men movement isn't going to work on the psychopaths. By the way, you'll notice that they ignore all the points where I'm denouncing the rapists and I'm condemning them. They ignore them all and they just twist me words and make it out like as if I am all for it. So I would like to think everything I said there is pretty reasonable, would you not say? Arming women with the idea that they can walk wherever they want and wear whatever they want, walk down that dark alleyway, go into the bad parts of town where people get stabbed all the time because men shouldn't do it, is probably not a great idea. We need to teach women how to protect themselves and how to make good decisions so they minimize that risk of getting into those sticky situations in the exact same way that we would do for our sons, for our boys. I'm going to tell my son, do not go down this alleyway or that area of town, especially at this time of night, because the chances of you getting stabbed or getting your watch robbed or something bad happening is going to be quite high. So I'm going to inform my son how to make better decisions to not do that, and any good parent would do that, regardless of how controversial this sounds online, because we all know that it's freaking stupid telling my son or my daughter, yeah, you go on, do whatever you want. The world needs to be educated. You should be able to do what you want and have complete freedom. It's a very dangerous thought process. And then somehow he says, nope, that's wrong. A woman walks alone, she gets graped. It's the grapist's problem. Well, yeah, I agree. He should not do that. A man with a Rolex is walking down the road and it gets stolen. The thief is the problem. Yeah, I know that. It's the thief. It's the rapists and the thieves. Yeah, and the murderers. Throw them on an island and let them all kill and rob each other. Friggin' execute them, get rid of them all. I am all for that. Yay. We don't even disagree on that point. Not dealing with rapists and thieves gives them power. He says we're not dealing with the rapists and thieves and that's what gives them power. But we are. If anyone commits these acts and it's reported to the police, they go away. They get locked up. In fact, we are very harsh on these type of people in society. They're actually the lowest of the low, especially in prison. If you go into prison and you're known as someone who has assaulted women, you're the lowest of the low, right down there with paedophiles. You get treated like crap in prison because even the murderers and the horrible top drug dealers in the prisons look down upon you if you're that type of person. So the law is pretty much in line where it needs to be. Can we give harsher sentences? 100%. I am 100% up for that. But they're making it out like there's no laws, and these offenders just get away with it like it's nothing. If they're reported and there's evidence and so on and so forth, he will go to prison and do the time. The original poster also said, the only evil here is Tate trying to justify the actions of rapists because evil exists. Oh, okay. If it exists, let's do nothing to stop it. Good one, Tate. We are doing a lot to try and stop it, but at the end of the day, it's always going to be there. For example, we could talk about gun crime in America. People think that making guns illegal in America is going to stop gun crime. Okay, cool. Guns are illegal in the UK. Yet people still have guns here in the UK. Yes, am I right? Drugs are illegal here in the UK. They're illegal. We all know, don't do drugs, don't sell drugs. Yet people still do drugs and sell drugs. We all know paedophilia is illegal here in the UK. Yet people will still do it. Murder is not good. Yet people still do it. Crimes are illegal. Yet people still commit them. Simply sitting kids down in class and going, right guys, don't sexually assault women. Don't murder. Don't sell drugs. That's not going to change anything. And then this was crazy what he said. I'd be surprised if what Andrew Tate has said hasn't already led to an increase of rapes by these deluded men who think they have the power over others. What the fuck are you saying? These people are delusional. Andrew Tate telling women to not walk down these dark alleyways. If you're outside of the club at the end of the night, maybe see if you can wait inside the club until your taxi comes, your Uber comes. Ring your dad, ring your brother, ring a friend, someone to come and pick you up. Try and take a different route home instead of going down the shortcut dark alleyway. That's going to prevent sexual assaults, not create more. You were an idiot. And what's crazy is there's loads of people out there who agree with this guy. And if that's you, you're an idiot. The irony isn't lost on me either. It's exactly the kind of thing rapists would say. The fact he tries to blame victims for grape rather than the offenders when he's just being done for grape himself. He hasn't been done for grape. I've been through all this in my old video. And then I say, I see how we interpret this completely different. Myself and Tate actually agree with everything you said in terms of, yes, it is the grapists and thieves' fault, 100%, and they should be punished, but there will always be grapists and thieves. So, is it not logical to make informed decisions about where you walk with a Rolex on in order to minimize the risk of it happening? Yeah, would you say? No. Where's your rationale? What you're saying is completely different than what Tate and myself are talking about. He actually blames the offenders and says directly they should be killed. And also, there's a chance of no matter how careful you are, it might not prevent all grape from happening. A lot of the time, it is unpreventable. It's mad that people ignore the part where he says this and just somehow arrive at the idea that Tate promotes grape and sex offenders. It's madness. He said that's not the issue. It's missing the point on crime in the first place. So what we've got here is a complete idealist, someone who wants the world to just be perfect. The minimizing of risk shouldn't be on the victim of crime, but we are talking about making better logical decisions here. It should be to a certain extent. Obviously, whatever crime it is, not all of it's preventable, of course. But it's stupid to say that we shouldn't educate our kids to make better decisions. We should. The minimization of risk should be dealing with the offenders in the first place through education. This, it happens and always has. Therefore, we shouldn't do anything about it. It's childish. I didn't say don't do anything about it. I am completely with you. I'm on your side. When people rape, when people do bad crimes, yeah, kill them, execute them, send them away on an island with no food and let them kill each other. But you'll see in a second how I deal with that comment. Someone else said in response to my previous comment, I'm sorry, have you just described whose fault rape is as a touchy subject? Shut up, lad, you know what I'm saying. This whole subject is a touchy subject. Case and point proven. So here's my response to this guy's comment right here about the minimization of risk. Well, I was never formally educated not to grape. No one ever sat me down and said, now Shaun, you must not grape women. Grape is bad, okay? Yet, I know not to do it. It's not about education. It's about there's always going to be evil people out there who commit heinous crimes, and someone sitting down and telling them not to do it isn't going to do anything. So what do you propose, Mr. Idealist? How are we going to educate these grapists then? Myself and Tate have put forth the suggestion to always be aware of your surroundings. Be careful walking home. Don't go down dark alleyways. Ring someone who you know to pick you up and try and make the best decisions possible, whatever circumstances you're in. But all I hear is people saying women shouldn't have to stay clear of dark, dangerous alleyways. We need to educate men not to grape. I hear no solution. What Tate is doing is helping women by telling them to be careful and therefore preventing more rape from happening. You think these sex offenders and criminals are going to see Tate on TikTok one day saying, don't sexually assault women, and then go, oh, okay, right, okay, I was going to go out tonight and see if I can get myself some fresh meat, but now that I've seen Tate on TikTok say it, okay, I won't do it now. Okay, that's cool. We all know growing up that murder is bad, stealing, robbing is bad, assaulting people sexually, physically is bad. We all know these things are bad, yet some people still do it. Why is it? Because they're messed up in the head. They're different, they're wired differently. You're not going to change those people. It seems like people think these horrible rapists have rationale. Can't you see we're also condemning the rapists and the act of it? I'm saying, what's your solution? You're saying we need a solution, so what is it? What's your solution, mate? Following on from that, I responded to the original poster with, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I agree with the fact that rape is bad and it shouldn't happen at all, but it's like saying murder is bad and it shouldn't happen at all. It's always going to be there because of how evil and twisted some people are. It's not about education. Some people are just irrational, dangerous, and vile human beings. When/if I have a daughter, I'll be teaching her the exact same things. I'm going to teach her to make the best decisions possible for her safety, because I can't control the psychopaths out there, but I can control how my daughters think about safety, awareness, and avoiding dangerous situations. If that makes me a misogynist or whatever the it word of the month is, then so be it. I do anything to keep my kids safe, even if people disagree with how it comes across. My kids' safety and protection is number one. It's a shame this message gets interpreted in a completely distorted way, because there's a lot of good advice that Tate gives, and it's also a shame that you don't see any positive in it, because I hang around with a circle of hyperachievers who are good parents, good men, who have good values, morals and ethics, who also love Tate, and it's a shame that you associate his fans with all being incels and betas. All the people who I know who like him are great men who want to make the world a better place, but hey ho, we're all entitled to our opinions. This is me just trying to be a little bit nice and take it out of the hostile zone, just to say, listen, we're all entitled to our opinions. Let's just chill out a moment. Come on. I know that you know what I'm talking about. You're just being a dummy on purpose. I mean, I think we can see from this conversation who the real betas are if you want to go down that route. And then the original poster said, I don't really know where to begin. This is an extremely warped view on the responsibility of sex crimes. Victim blaming again. I hate that word, victim blaming. It's such a broad term. You say to someone, oh, don't go down a dark alleyway. Oh, you're victim blaming. I'm just telling my daughter how to make a better decision, how to try and avoid this area of town, because I want the best for her and I want her to be safe. That's not victim blaming, you stupid idiot. Tate offers zero insight, zero solutions, and it all boils down to the evil people in the world, so we might as well let it happen. Just don't walk down alleyways on your own. That's why he's an idiot with little grasp on real life problems, and that's without the fact he's just being charged with rape. So Tate, someone who's been stabbed, someone who's had 80 kickboxing fights, someone who comes from nothing, who used to live in Luton and used to see all sorts of shit go down. He's got no grasp on real life problems. Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, but once again, you wouldn't know that because you've watched a few little clips of him online and you've read your LGBTQ IPA headlines. The character he's built is designed specifically for incels. He profits in their inherently misogynistic attitudes. Do you see real successful men share his attitudes or opinions? No. Do they have to claim to be alphas? No. This guy is obsessed with the word alpha, by the way. If I ever have a daughter, I'll be saying stay away from people who call themselves alphas. They are probably sex offenders. And this goes to show that he's really insecure in himself, because he's really hyper-focused on the word alpha. He said if people call themselves alphas, or if someone's got alpha energy, they are probably sex offenders. You talk about me having a warped view. You're the one with the warped view. And this is a great one from someone else on the post. I think there's a strong chance if you continue to follow and listen to existing misogynistic, narcissistic, sociopathic and manipulative pricks like Tate. You really took your time with that sentence, didn't you? There's little chance that you will ever have a daughter, so you don't need to worry about teaching her anything, making it out that I'll never meet a girl in my entire life. Listen, mate, if me and you went at it on a night out, me and you, and we had to pull the fittest bird, let's say we're both single, we'll see who comes out on top. Then a woman said, F&L, thank you. She followed that up with, pardon me, but F this outdated, ignorant, misogynistic, vile rhetoric. I shouldn't be having to tell my daughters it's not safe for her to wear her favourite fitted skirt to her mate's party, you know, just in case. Well, I understand that, and I actually do agree with that to a certain extent. That being said, we do have to take into consideration if you are in a bad part of town and your daughter has to walk home by herself at night, and there's no taxi for her to get, and then she's got her favourite fitted skirt on that you said it's fine for her to wear, and she's got all sorts of skin showing, and then she's walking through a dark alleyway or walking through the bad part of town, then you're a bad parent. Your number one priority for your kids should be safety and to protect them, you stupid idiot. This is a good one. Instead, sons should be brought up to respect boundaries and not see a certain outfit as a green light or excuse for rape or abuse. What? No, lads do. You're a stupid... You've got no clue. You're a stupid little leftist idealist. That's what you probably are. You're probably a feminist as well. They shouldn't need to protect women either. Trust me, we are more capable. It's in our childbearing nature to be stronger than you can imagine. I don't care how many kids you've had because of your childbearing nature. If a fella grabs a hold of you, you're done for. Even if he's smaller than you. Women are not as strong as men. You are an idiot. You're going to get either yourself or your kids hurt. Got a complete warped perception on reality. If you've got a fella, he must be an absolute little worm. If my missus thought that she was stronger than a man, I'd have to have a serious sit down with her and tell her the harsh realities of life and just say, listen, babe, you've got no chance. Anytime I've got my girl there, if something pops off, I tell her, listen, right, don't try and step in. Run and get help, or just run away with the baby. Don't try and get yourself involved. Just get away, because you're not going to be able to do anything. If 2 lads or 3 lads or 4 lads attack me, even if it's just 1 lad and he overpowers me, what chance have you got? You're not strong physically compared to a man. Get that narrative out of your head. Absolutely delusional. This isn't good versus evil. It's common effing decency, and I feel sad for anyone who's clung on to Tate as some kind of weird trailblazer for mankind, when now he's finally been exposed as a sad little desperate narc we all knew he was. Hope you managed to find a more reputable leader to your path of enlightenment. This lady right here, I'm sure she's a nice woman, but she's absolutely delusional, thinks that she's stronger than a man. Obviously some sort of feminist. Another woman said, FNL, what era have you been sent from? Victims need to take responsibility because evil people have never been taught to not rape or not murder. Of course we've been taught to not do that stuff. Everyone knows not to do it. You delusional idiot. How about governments and leaders start to put plans in place to protect women, educate men, and hand out appropriate punishments to those who take advantage of having a dick? We do get appropriate punishments. Okay, maybe they need to serve longer time. But answer me this, lady, seems that you've got all the answers. You know the places in America that have the death penalty? It's a pretty serious punishment, isn't it? Knowing that if I kill someone, or if I go on an absolute rampage of sexually assaulting loads of women, I know that I could get the death penalty and die. You'd think that that would deter people from actually doing it, yet people still do it on a daily basis. There's people out there who know that if they get caught, their own punishment is death, yet they still go and do that shit. They still go and rape, they still go and murder. So what's your explanation there? Maybe we need to bring the death penalty here over to the UK. People will still do it. You can give all the boys in our school education on how to not rape and how to not murder. And guess what? There's still going to be men who grow up to still do it. Because there's sick people in the world. Stop being delusional. And then a couple final points from me. Everyone's afraid of saying they agree with him because of comments and statuses like these. People don't want to be shamed by people who don't actually know what they're talking about. Everyone here has probably seen a handful of short clips and read a couple of news headlines. If you think he's a sex trafficker, then that shows you know nothing about how these allegations are following on from the same charges as last time, which were dropped because they were false allegations. I usually don't engage with statuses like these because it's futile and no one is changing their minds, but I'm not afraid of letting people know this case is all BS just to try and silence them. I guarantee there's a bunch of people on your profile who agree with me. They're just scared of the backlash. The same way people liked Trump but were scared to say. The same way people vote Conservatives but are scared to say. Oh, it turns out as well, I think the guy who done this original post is an extreme lefty. So it all makes sense, of course. We had one other comment as well. Shaun, if you agree rape victims are to blame for their assault, you deserve backlash. I don't think they're to blame for the assault whatsoever. That's not what we're saying. This is just a small fragment of what Andrew Tate taught. No, it's not. It's just that you don't like Andrew Tate because of the type of person he is, and therefore you choose to interpret the message in the wrong way. I've watched his podcast, watched his interviews, it's all the same. He's not a pioneer of thought. People like Tate have existed for centuries and they're always wrong. Oh yeah, but you're right, Mr. Idealist. It's talk from an insecure, angry man, further evidenced by his absolute rage over a 19-year-old autistic girl saying he had a small dick. Greta got what she deserved. She thinks she's brilliant. You say Tate thinks he's a pioneer of thought. No, Greta thinks she's a pioneer of thought, when really Greta is just a vehicle for the parents to push their stupid climate change activist narrative through. I know this has been a long video today, but it's really mad that there's people out there who have this complete warped perception of reality, and they have these idealist views where there should be no murder, no crimes in the world, which obviously I would love to happen as well, but let's face it, that's not going to happen. A lot of areas in the world are safer than ever, yet crimes like these still happen, unfortunately so. But we can't just sit there and say, this shouldn't happen, men need to be educated. The end. We actually need to arm our kids with a good decision-making process, just how my parents did. I was brought up as a good kid, I was respectable, I stayed away from the wrong types of people, I didn't hang around on streets. My parents always taught me about safety, respect, and what do you know? I've made good decisions and therefore ended up being successful. The problem is people like these see Andrew Tate. He's smart, he's successful, subjectively good looking, charismatic, rich, brash, in your face and confident, and people really get offended by that because people don't like masculine men who really stand out in society these days, and they see it as toxic. The whole toxic masculinity narrative, it's something that all these people are trying to suppress these days. Andrew Tate is a positive force for good in this world. He's taught men to be more ambitious, to get off your ass, don't be lazy, get work done, train every day regardless if you feel like it or not. He's instilled good values within men. These are values that I've always had. I've been in business for the last 12 years. I've trained my entire life, kickboxing and the gym pretty much. I'm good to my family, I'm good to my friends, I have good values, good ethics. And yeah, a lot of what Andrew Tate says resonates with me. But according to these people, by association, I am none of the things I've just explained. I'm an incel, I'm a beta, I'm a rapist, a possible murderer, I'm a sex trafficker. It's the same people who don't like any masculine men in society. What other strong figures have we got to follow in the world? I guarantee the people who are commenting on this status have got no problem listening to Cardi B and a bunch of degenerate music or getting off the face on coke every single weekend. Like that, Andrew Tate's a prick. Absolute idiots. What do you think of this? Comment down below if you agree or disagree with me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.